Morning, everybody. I'm Misty Philippus, your principal. I want to welcome everybody to the 2020-2021 school year. I know it's been a rough start for most of you, but I want to let you know that we're here for you and we're excited to work with you for the year. Don't forget to visit our website, www.brooklynsea.org, for all the information that you'll ever need about attending BC. Have a great day, guys.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Today is Friday, September 25th, 2020, and this is your town hall video. Today, we're going to be going over a couple things. We're going to do some shout outs. I have some important upcoming dates for you. I wanted to go over just some of the, really briefly, some of the blended learning protocols. I know we've done this before with our families, but I wanted to reiterate some things, and there have been some changes as well. I wanted to review the BC Bell schedule, synchronous and asynchronous remote instruction, courses and expectations, and the class schedules. I know this week has been challenging for many of us to get on and get on at the right time, so I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page with that. And then I wanted to point out some resources for you as well that are available on our website, including the resource guide and the tech support form. So let's start off with shout outs. We want to give a big shout out and welcome to Mr. McNolly and Mr. Moore, who are joining our teaching staff this year as full-time teachers. Welcome to both of them. And shout out to all of you, all of the BC students and parents and staff members. This back to school has been unlike any other that we've ever seen in the DOE. So thank you for your patience, thank you for your flexibility, for your determination and resourcefulness, and just for doing the best you can to make this as smooth a start as possible. I know there's a lot of challenges, there's been a lot of hiccups this week, but thank you for persisting and continuing to exhibit those BC prep values that we expect of students. Some important upcoming dates. So this coming Monday, September 28th, there is no school in recognition of Yom Kippur. Jamar Ketima Tova to those of you who are celebrating. Next Thursday, October 1st, is the first day of in-person learning for Group B students. All right, so the first day of in-person learning for the whole city for middle schools is Thursday, October 1st. That happens to be a Group B day. So if you are in Group B, and I'll reiterate where to find that information. Okay, your first day of in-person learning will be October 1st. That's next Thursday. And Group A, your first day of learning is not going to be until the following Monday, October 5th. Okay, and then from there, we should be following our regular schedule. So Group A students will be attending school in the building on Mondays and Wednesdays, and Group B students will be attending school in the building on Tuesdays and Thursdays. As everyone knows, if you're not in school on a day, if you're not in the building, then you are working remotely. And so everybody in both Group A, B, and D, that's the fully remote group, will be working remotely all the way through to Thursday when Group B will start in person just on that Thursday next week. Also coming up, another day of no school is in honor of Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. Monday, October 12th, all right? So those are the big upcoming dates in the next couple of weeks. We're updating our calendar on our BC website with the school year calendar and things that have been changing, all right? So you can find information there. As always, the website is www.brooklynsea, as in Science Engineering Academy.org. If you don't put the www in, it's been crashing this week for some reason. So please do put the www in before you put brooklynsea.org, and you should be able to get through. If it doesn't work the first time, if you type it again, it's been working for me the second time. So, blended learning protocols. We have gone over this in a couple of the meetings that we've had with families. We've gone over this in the orientation session, but I want to reiterate a couple of points and highlight some things that have changed since last time we spoke. Okay. The first is that there's those 4 health screening questions that you're asked to consider before you come into the building. Now there's an official document that students need to complete or families need to complete prior to coming into the building. So you can do this. I do it every day. Our teachers also do this every day on my cell phone. And then I can show the school safety agents that are at the door that I've completed the form every day. I'm going to show you how to get to that form in just 1 second. But that form is asking if you have a temperature of higher than 100 degrees, if you've been knowingly in contact with anybody that has tested positive for COVID in the last 14 days, if you have traveled to a state or a country internationally that has a high rate of community spread of COVID. And so those questions are very important for us to keep the spread of the virus down in the building. So we want to make sure that we are following that policy to a T and make sure that everybody is screening prior to coming into the building. They are still doing random temperature checks at the doors, so students will be screened at the door as well. Part of this is asking you to make sure that you don't come to the building with a temperature of 100 degrees or higher. We will be providing thermometers to families so that you can have those at home to do this screening at home before you get to the building. And let me show you where to find that. So if you go to our website, www.brooklynsea.org. Okay, then let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay, underneath the 2020 school year tab, I renamed this to make it a little bit easier. Okay, there are a number of things in here. There's a blended learning page and a remote learning page, a tech support page, a remote handbook, and now a town hall page. Okay, if you are a blended learning student, you should go to this blended learning page. Okay. On the blended learning page, underneath the back to school forms, it has the days for group A and group B. So based on your class section, those are the days you will be coming into the building. These are the entrances you will use to get into the building. Okay, so if I'm in group A and I'm in class 601, then I'm going to be coming in through the East 54th Street entrance. If I'm in group B and I'm in 602, I'm going to be coming in through the East 55th Street entrance. Okay, we have multiple entrances to cut down on the number of interactions that people are going to be having in the building. The daily entrance checklist. These are those questions that I asked myself or that I stated earlier, okay, about not having a fever, not having symptoms of COVID-19, not having interacted or traveled to anywhere where there's spread of COVID-19 or a positive case. And the DOE health screening form, okay, there is a link to it directly right here. It looks like this. You can get to this one of two different ways once you're into the screen. And if you have a DOE email address, DOE email account, this is for both employees and students, okay, you can click this button and sign in with that account. Okay, it will take you to a page that looks like this where you sign in. And students do have access to a DOE email account. I know many of you have already set them up. If you need to access that, you can go to this link right here that says NYC student email, and you're able to get to this page where it will tell you how to set this up, okay, what to do with it. The self-service form, it's pretty easy to use. I had to do it for my son a few weeks ago. You put in your OSIS or student ID number, you put in your birthday, and then you click continue, and it will give you your username and your password. It will also ask you to set up a new password. Okay, so once you do this, you can actually use that email account to sign in to this health screening. That makes it a little bit easier to sign in here because it already has the school building on it, and so you can just put in your username and check off the 4 questions. You want to answer yes or no to whether or not you have a fever of 100 or higher, whether or not you have displayed symptoms, come in contact with anybody who is positive, or if you've traveled somewhere where there is widespread community spread of COVID-19. You answer no to all those things, you'll get clearance from the building. The guest screening asks those same questions, but you don't need a DOE email account to do this. It does add a couple of extra steps though. So you would click I'm a student, you would put in your first and last name, you can use your BC email account here, and then you have to look up our school, so you can search 18K763 or Brooklyn Science, let's see. Brooklyn Science and Engineering, okay. You search by Brooklyn Science and Engineering Academy. All right, and then you guys are gonna go to your floor. So, and then everybody in our building is spread out across the 4th floor. So you're going to fill out the daily screening, and then you can submit that, and that'll give you access to the building. Okay. Other things that you need to know. Okay. There is no longer a walk home permission slip if you come on the wrong day. So parents, earlier in the summer, we had sent home a permission to walk home slip. Okay, that slip allowed you to walk home if you were a Group B student and you came in on an A day. And I know some parents, I thank you for filling those out. Thank you for sending them in to us at docs@publicc.org. The DOE has changed that policy, so unless a student is 18 or over, they're not allowed to walk home on their own. So parents, if you have a student who comes on the wrong day, then you will be called to pick up the student. They can't be mixed in with another group because we are trying to limit the interactions between the number of people in the building. So we will hold them for you, and then we will we'll give you a call so you can come pick them up. That's important so that we can make sure that everyone stays safe in the building. Lastly, students in blended learning. Your crew teacher should have posted an assignment in your crew classroom on Google Classroom. If they haven't yet, they will. Please make sure that you are attaching a picture to send to those teachers, preferably in your BC uniform. It must be a school appropriate picture, and it should be up close so we can see your face. We're going to put that on your BC student ID, okay, which looks like this. That ID is going to have your day on it, so it'll have Monday and Wednesday if you're in Group A, or Tuesday and Thursday if you're Group B. That way, one, you can help remember, but also facilitate the process of getting in the building a little bit faster. Okay, so some things to review. We have a bell schedule posted on our website. It is on our blended learning and remote learning page on the website. We have synchronous and asynchronous remote instruction happening. I'm going to go over what those things mean. I want to talk to you about the courses and expectations. Some of these classes haven't started yet. We've started slowly, just trying to get people on with their core subject teachers. And then I want to go over an example class schedule. So on our website, if you go to the blended learning or remote learning page, you will find that there's the bell schedule right here. You can click on that and make it bigger. Okay. This bell schedule has the times broken down for both synchronous and asynchronous learning. Okay. So the synchronous instructional time is the first half of the periods, and the asynchronous time is the second half of those periods. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, I'm going to go to my handbook. I'm going to go to programming, and we're going to learn about synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Okay, so in synchronous learning, that is that live instructional time. Okay, every student has live instructional time on their remote days, every day that they are remote, whether you're fully remote or you're in a blended learning situation. That's where you're interacting directly with the teacher. The teacher might be posting a presentation and walking you through it. They might be leading you through Nearpod. They might be having a small group discussion. But those times are for teachers to connect with students live so that we can give live feedback, so we can answer questions. And that's going to happen at the beginning of the periods that you have a teacher on your schedule if you're on a remote day. Asynchronous learning, that's self-directed learning. That's the time that you work on your own. Okay, so there are some periods, like the RTI period or the circles period, that are asynchronous. They're on your own. All right, so there won't be a teacher for that that period. I'll show you how to find that on your schedule, okay, but I just wanted to clarify that. So not every single period is going to have a Google Meet or a Zoom, okay, but many of your periods do, and so you're expected to log into those Google Meets or those Zooms at the start of the period whenever you have a teacher listed on your schedule. Attendance this year, the DOE has indicated that we are to take attendance in those meets and those Zooms. It's no longer a Google form. It's no longer I logged on at 10 at night and that's when I did my work and that counts. Okay, there were different things that were applicable in the spring, that the DOE allowed because it was a big learning curve for everyone and we just kind of jumped into it. But they're saying that now you have to be present in that live instruction for you to get credit for your attendance. So please make sure that you are logging into Google Meet or Zoom whenever your teachers post it, which will be at the start of those periods that are listed on your schedule with the teacher. So, classes and expectations. I'm going to go back to this handbook, and the bell schedule is there. Office hours are available every day from 2:14 to 2:34. So if you have questions, you can email your teacher or go to the Google Classroom. Some of them are just posting meets, just open meets for you to come in. But do email or your teachers, and they will get back to you. That's time for them to connect with parents, connect with students if you have questions. So please utilize that. Class schedules are all on the website. Okay? If you're in the blended learning program, meaning you're coming into school 2 days a week, you can go to the blended learning page. If you're in the remote learning program, you can go to the remote learning page. Those schedules are to the right of the bell schedule. It says class schedules. Okay, you can click on any one of your classes, or you can click on your section rather, and you can find your schedule. And lastly, so on your schedule you have ELA, math, science, and social studies. Those are core classes. Those will always have a teacher attached to them. Your non-core classes, such as non-core ELA, non-core math, those will also have a teacher attached to them. Those are used for reteaching. Those are used for developing literacy skills. Those are used for conferencing. Those are used for going back and looking at things that you hadn't mastered yet. All right, so teachers will be using those things to do our reteach periods, do our literacy periods. So if you were in 7th or 8th grade, we called them literacy last year. We called them reteach. All right, that's what it says when. That's what it means when it says non-core ELA, non-core math on your schedule. Other things, 7th and 8th graders have art and health on their program. Okay, art and health will both have live instruction. Crew teachers are setting up Google Classrooms this week if they haven't already. The crew is a chance for you to make a connection with a teacher in a smaller group or make a connection around interests. Some teachers are doing circles with their crews. Other teachers are engaging in that interest-based curriculum. Unlike previous years, we're not surveying students at this time to ask you what crew you want to be in. Everybody is assigned to a specific crew. Okay. And then that's where you'll start. If you need any support with anything, you can always go to that crew teacher and ask, and they will direct you to the appropriate place. I'm recording video. So, lastly, physical education, gym. Everybody has gym on their schedules 2 times a week. Your gym classes are asynchronous, meaning Mr. Novins is not going to get on and do a Google Meet with you in your living room and ask you to run around the room. Those gym videos will be posted so that you can get on and you can engage in that physical activity. There'll be more information coming through that, but those videos should be posted on that physical education page. Other things that are on your schedule, 6th graders, you have foundations on your schedule. That is a literacy class. It's to build those foundational literacy skills. We're going to be rolling that curriculum out starting next week. All right, so please do look for those Google Meets starting next week. iReady, RTI, ELA, and math. The iReady program is a program that personalizes instruction for students based on your specific needs. Teachers can assign work to you. Students can also do self-paced work, and it's got an assessment component to it. iReady passwords and logins will be emailed out shortly. We just got them yesterday. I did some testing with some of them, and they weren't quite working, so I want to make sure that they are completely working before I send those out, but you should have those for next week. And then Town Hall is this, where we're talking through things. It won't always be just Mr. Campbell talking at the computer, so rest assured you won't have to listen to me every Friday. So those are the classes that are on your schedule. I want to go through a sample schedule with you briefly. This is class 622 schedule. Let's see if I can make it a little smaller so you can see the whole thing. All right, so when you go on your schedule, Obviously, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on the left side, so you read it left to right across the day. The times are very difficult to see on there. They're small, and you can zoom in. Remember, this is the whole period, which includes both the synchronous and asynchronous times, so you do need to use that bell schedule as well to make sure that you're logging onto your meets. But if you log into the beginning of the period, you should be good. Looking at 622 schedule here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 periods on Mondays where they have a live teacher checking in with them. Okay, so on first period at 8:45 a.m., Mr. Basilico and Ms. Lesbrons are going to be hosting their meets for science. Okay, and that runs until 9:10. At that point, students are going to be completing assignments on their own or finishing up the work that they started in the period with the synchronous learning. Same thing, this is with Mr. Garcia, okay, and Mr. Moore. Third period, okay, students are going to have an on your own period where they are logging on to iReady to do work that's been assigned by ELA math teachers or develop those skills that they have for next steps. Crew is on there with Mr. Garcia. Ms. Canis and Ms. Rodor will be hosting ELA. Ms. Pinks and Mr. Jones will be hosting math. And then there's another iReady period. One of these can be used for ELA, the other one can be used for math. I want to point out that this is how you know if there is a live teacher that's going to be doing that live meet or Zoom with you during that period, because their initials or their name are at the bottom of your schedule for that period. This period and this period have no teachers on them, which means it is a asynchronous period. All right, so please keep that in mind. I'm going to be making a couple of tweaks to the schedules. So like this foundations period will have a teacher attached to it starting next week. So please check your schedule, check the updated versions. I will post in Google Classroom on my class of 2023, 2022, 2021 page when I update the schedule so everybody knows. But that's how you can follow what's going on across the week. Circle work is another period that is asynchronous. Ms. Mapp, Ms. Oliveri, and I are working to put out circle work information once a week. And then the last thing to point out is the benchmark task. Okay, so each week your teachers are going to be assigning you one benchmark task. This is the task that shows that you've mastered the skill that you've been working on in that content area each week. All right, those tasks are all going to be posted and the learning targets can be posted on the website so that you can see exactly what it is that you are expected to learn each week. So please make sure that you are using this time to complete those tasks, as that is what your grade is based on. Those assessment tasks are your grade, and so you need to be able to demonstrate what you've learned that week in those tasks. We've provided you time to complete them. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to point out was our resources. That's the remote learning website, the blended learning website, the handbook, and the tech support. So going back to brooklynsea.org, www.brooklynsea.org, and under 2020 school year, you have the blended learning and remote learning pages. Then when you click on remote learning, you can go down, the bell schedule is there, your class schedules are there, definition of synchronous and asynchronous learning are there in case you want to see that again. Okay? And down below is the blended remote learning handbook. And you can also access this handbook right here. Remote handbook, it's a bit bigger. And if you click this, it will open in a new page, even larger, and you can click on all the tabs. All right. So if I want to get into the handbook and I want to see the table of contents of what's in there, I know that I can learn about how to use the website, email, PeoplePath, or Mind. I can understand the program a little bit better. I can understand how to use my BSEA email account. How to access Google Classroom, the parent reports, finding missing assignments, updating work. So any questions about Google Classroom, you can go to this tab. Getting on Meet or Zoom, how to access tech support, and then the other programs I'm going to be putting instructions on for Nearpod, CK12, iReady, iExcel, Actively Learn that we're using across different classes. Let's take a look at the tech support section. And in here you'll find pictures, you'll find videos, you'll find specific instructions for things. If you have a DOE iPad, that's not something we can necessarily fix. I know there's been a lot of issues with the iPads this week. You can go to their technical support for families website, or go to their frequently asked questions documents and try and get some support there, depending on what your specific issue is. You can also ask us and we will try and troubleshoot for you, but just know that this is a resource for you. If you are using the BC Tech Support request form, okay, please use the BC Tech Support request form. This is found here in the guide. It's also found on our website under Tech Support. The form is right here. You can enter directly into it. And this is if you have an issue with a BC computer, you need your email address, or you need your password reset, you can't see all your classes in Google Classroom, which you can fix yourself too with the classroom codes. I'll show you that. And if you need to be added as a guardian in Google Classroom, Google Path registration information, which I'm sending out en masse to all of the 6th grade families who didn't have it yet, and anybody that's not signed up for it. Or if you need access to the family access page, that's the My Student Parent Portal. Please use this tech support request form for any of your tech support needs. This gets emailed to all these lovely people over here, Mr. Faisal, Mr. Seifel, Mr. Eisenberg, and myself. One of us will get back to you. It's just an easy way for us to track that we've made sure we covered everything instead of getting a random email, because the appropriate person can handle it if it goes through that form. So thank you for using it. Yeah, so that's all of our resources. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to us and ask your questions. Reach out to me, Ms. D, or Mr. Seifela. All of our email addresses are on our website, www.brooklynsea.org. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic Friday and a good weekend.